Europe needing just that 1 point to claim a record 9th Weber Cup and to win 4 in a row for the very first time. Cass, again, just to give this some perspective, a potential 9 games tonight. The USA will have to win 9 in a row. So far this weekend, they've only managed 2 in a row on 2 occasions.
Are you asking me for some odds? Because you won't get very many from me, I'm afraid. Carl Troup, the debutant for Team USA, against Stu Williams, a legend in his own lifetime, and the Weber Cup finisher.
Carl Troup has won his last 2 singles matches. And he really did struggle on his last doubles with Parker Bone III against Williams and Barrett. That's a good way to start from Carl Troup, and that's all they can do. And there's 2 Afro picks tonight.
Carl has very much become the crowd's favourite. He may not be bowling the best of his life, but he's certainly made an impression with the crowd here in Manchester. It's a great looking shot for an opener. Carries all 10, carried 2 combs with him. And you can see the tattoo on his right forearm, never give up.
He's dispensed with the headband, hasn't he? What we saw earlier in the weekend. Stu Williams knows what it's all about. He's been here before. He needs to spare this time.
Yeah, so Carl scored 30 with his first shot, which was a strike. Stuart's just taken 9, and if he spares it, it'll be 9 added on, so it'll be 19 in frame number 1. It's the new world bowling scoring system, which is being utilised here for the first time in the Weber Cup.
Wes Malotte in the opening evening session game last year to wrap up the Weber Cup for Europe. Don Barrett giving him the opportunity to repeat that, this time against the rookie Kyle Troup. But he really has got better as the weekend has gone on, Troup.
Yeah, he's won 2 singles and lost 2 singles. He's averaged about 240, so his score's been pretty high. Be looking here for another strike and another 30 pins.
Get up, he said, and it did. 2 from 2.
Yeah, another great looking shot, and no comb this time. Playing on 39 feet of oil. It's only just been laid down, which gives 21 feet of dry back end between the end of the oil line and the head pin. So there's plenty of room for these bowling balls to hook up and make those pins and devastate the pocket, carry all 10 when they can do. Lots of what we call back end.
9 spare for Williams with the first frame. But that's a strike. Keeps him within 11 of Kyle Troup.
Yeah, Stu's looking pretty cool, even though he's a few pins behind just to start with. But he's finished Weber Cups before in style, and he knows the games go to the 9th and 10th frame. So he's pretty cool with the whole situation so far.
4-time Weber Cup winner, looking for his 5th success. He's only been on the losing team once. Troup working on 3 in a row. He was willing it into the pocket, and it responded.
Well, it's certainly been a good selection by Parker Bone, the USA captain, to put Carl first out on this lane condition, and he's absolutely thriving on it. Absolutely ripping the rack with that shot. It just looked absolutely fantastic.
It's just a case of putting one foot in front of the other at the moment for the USA. Small steps on a seemingly impossible journey. He's sticking with him though, Williams. That's a high quality start to the evening session.
Yeah, everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. Stuart looks rather reserved, but another great looking shot here. Just staying in touch. Just 11 pins in it after 3 frames.
It's interesting, Cass, to see the mentality of the Americans who were having a big powwow before this evening's session started on stage. They still believe, and that's what makes them true competitors.
Yeah, it certainly was a powwow. It's pens and paper and descriptions all over the place. Ooh, high in the pocket. Called that one the fast 8. It's left 2 pins standing. Almost a perfect strike, but there was so much finish on this radical ball. It just goes that fraction high. Fortunate to kick out the 9 pin, otherwise that would have been a split. But it's got a makeable spare here as Carl.
So he does make it.
Spare it is, which is worth 18. Gets him through the 100 barrier.
The strike here, though, for Williams would edge him in front by a single pin.
Yeah, that's the uniqueness of this scoring system. 30 pin shot here from Stuart Williams, and he will take the lead.
Yeah, big puff of air from Stu Williams. He's been playing catch-up for the first 3 frames, but now a chance to move in front. Doesn't take it, though.
Well, he kind of shouted, "Come on," as the ball went down the lane. It finished rather nicely. Unfortunately, the 10 pin was solid as a rock on the right-hand corner there. It's just coming a fraction light, and you can see the 6 pin just drops into the gutter rather than bouncing back and chopping the legs off that 10 pin.
That's what he has to do, but it's 2 spares, 2 9 spares either side of a double for Williams. Carl Troup 3 successive strikes and then a 8 spare. He has a 10 pin lead. Looking for a 3rd successive singles win this weekend that would keep the Americans alive at least for another game. Terrific shot.
Yeah, his 4th strike out of 5 at the halfway stage. You'll settle for that. Great looking shot down the right-hand side, but a really aggressive bowling ball comes back, jumps all those pins around the pin deck and demolishes them all.
Much more calm and collected, Cass, after the last couple of strikes as well, Troup.
Well, yeah, he's hanging in there. He's got this very small lead. And obviously he wants to hang on to it, but Stuart's job is to come back with a couple of strikes.
Well, it was never going to be, was it?
Well, that's a slightly unusual leave. It was the 3 and the 10. It looks as though it's become the 3 and the 9.5.
That's quite extraordinary, wasn't it? 1 pin replaced the other. Let's watch at the back there.
Absolutely amazing, yeah. The 9 hits the 10 and becomes 9.5. That is just unbelievable. The pin has to stay there because the machine has picked it up and spotted it back somewhere on the pin deck, and Stuart knows he has to spare this one. Hopefully they're a bit close together and it may be an easy spare.
Yeah, good shot.
A little bit of trick bowling there. He wasn't expecting that, but he covered it nicely.
22 the difference, though.
Yeah, the difference between a spare and a strike. 8 spare is 18 and a strike is 30. So you immediately pick up 12 pins bonus.
Strike here would really begin to make life difficult for Williams. Gets it! Well, he's certainly in the groove tonight, the Afro Fish. 5 strikes and an 8 spare.
Yeah, I've got a feeling he's just moved his feet a little bit left on the approach and using a bit more of the lane. He's certainly getting the reaction in the back end from those outside boards. Stuart trying to play catch up now. And that's part of the catch-up. It's the 30 pins from Stu with his, with his comb. Nice one, beef stew.
Doesn't need such quite long teeth though, does he, on his coat?
No, Stuart had his haircut especially for the tournament. I'm not sure if they're credit cards or not. Back to the serious side of things for Carl Troup. Working on 2 strikes in a row. He's got a 22-pin lead with 4 frames to go. Needs to stay nice and clean.
Right to 10.
He's a 10-pin in the corner, doesn't he? The reason that 10-pin is standing there is because the ball is so aggressive and radical that it came in behind the headpin at such an acute angle that the 6-pin was pushed so fast round off the kickback and round back behind that 10. And the spare is good and it's worth 19.
Chance to move and close that gap though for Stu Williams. Strike here would take him to 176.
Yeah, the game's all about strikes, not necessarily whereabouts you have them, as in the conventional scoring.
Yeah, the need for consecutive strikes has been taken out of the equation now, hasn't it?
It certainly has, yeah. You can have 4 or 5 strikes, but not strung together and still go through the 220 barrier. As long as you don't have any open frames with it.
Doesn't strike though, and he just can't get in there, can he, Williams, and take advantage of anything that Troup has left him.
Well, he's getting close and he's getting frustrated by the look on his face. I mean, that was pretty close to being a pretty good strike, just a little bit high. Of course, the 4-pin stands. That's when the right-handed ball goes in, just too much on the head pin. Needs to hold nice and straight for the spare. But the spare is not what he needs. We're running out of frames. 23 pins the difference now. Make that 23, 22.
Just got to hold his nerve here, Carl Troup. And the USA will live to fight another game. Looking for his 6th strike. Help! I think he asked for a bit of help and he got it. It's a great shot.
Yeah, pretty much locked and loaded on this lane condition just at the moment is Carl Troup. The unfortunate thing is it's just the one game that he's going to bowl. But it may well be a victory and another point for Team USA. Start the fight back here.
Gets it at last. Stuart Williams. And it's just 2 strikes from the last 5 frames. Takes him to 195, but he's still close enough that Troup has to remain fully focused.
We're in the 9th frame now with a 22-pin lead in the penultimate frame. Just has to stay clean, anything but an open frame, and the match is there for the taking.
Picture of focus, concentration.
Can you believe that? That hit so hard, and the 6-pin just laid in the gutter right in front of the 10. Didn't budge it one iota. Look at that, it just lays dead in the gutter. Unbelievable how that did not go. Now this can only be a spare, which he must take.
Take him to 236. Well, he's having words every time. They're playing the mind games as well, the Europeans, on this final day.
A simple thing is that Stewart needs to hit 2 strikes, one in the 9th, one in the 10th, to give him 255, which would force Kyle to strike in the 10th as well.
Oh, come on, he says, but it's a horrible shot. And probably just about wraps up the game.
Yes, I think you're quite right there. You've suggested that's all over, and in my book it is as well. It's going to be an open frame for Stewart.
That was a great effort. Fantastic effort, Cass, but not quite. And it is open.
And unfortunately, I mean, a spare would not have been really good enough if Kyle steps up here and strikes.
Well, he's going to milk this, Troup, and why not? Because if we don't see him again, he's going to go out with 3 singles wins in a row. He's certainly played his part in picking up points for the USA. And he leaves up the 10 again. Well, all he could do, Cass, was come out, shoot his best, and keep the USA at least in the competition for another game. And he has done that. He has denied Stu Williams the opportunity to wrap it up for the 2nd year in succession for Europe. Well done to Carl Troup.
255 is an absolute magic game for an opener. Stu Williams has just got to finish off knowing he's beaten, and Carl Troup will sit down very, very happy. 1 game for the captain, that is. It's just academic. It's the game is lost, and Stuart Williams is going to try something different here.
Just couldn't really get going, Cass, could he? It was inconsistent, and then that open frame killed him at the end. And it's another open frame. But we go on in Weber Cup 2016. Kyle Troup, the rookie, has pulled one back for the USA. It's 18-11, and Europe still need 1 more.